Welcome to the Chi-Town Cigar Podcast, the podcast where everyday Chicago guys light up a fine cigar and get everything from sports and current events to hobbies, life's little moments, and everything in between. Whether you're here for the cigars, the conversation, or just some good laughs, we've got you covered. So grab your favorite smoke, settle in, and join us for some laid-back chats with the Chicago twist. Now it's time to put some smoke in the air. Hello there, Marty.
Hi, Mike. How's it going?
Good. I've got a new name for the studio. I'm coming to you live from the Aganorsa Leaf studio in Central Illinois. I got permission today to officially name my studio the Aganorsa Leaf Studio. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Who gave you permission?
Terrence. Went right to the top. I went right to the top.
Right to the top.
Right to the top. Right to the top. So I told him we weren't asking for any sponsorship yet.
Well, I call my studio the Cedar Room.
That's a good name. Yes.
Cedar lined room there.
Yes. And I like that name. That's it. No, that's definitely a good name for you and for the studio. So what's going on? How you doing?
I am doing great. I have lit up a Espinosa Laranja Oscuro.
Ooh, Oscuro.
Oscuro.
As like we like to be told.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
I think we're gonna have trouble tonight. I think everyone's gonna be making fun of us tonight.
Oh, I was going through the pronunciation key earlier, and yeah, this will be one we're gonna get comments on, or we're gonna get harassed. But I am actually smoking the Perdomo Habano Sungrown. Let's see if I can get that. Probably not, but that's what I'm smoking. So I'm actually feeling better. I started feeling better. What was it? Saturday or Sunday? I started out light with some generic cigars or some not too intense ones. And I feel like my palate is coming back, but I wasn't completely sold on the idea. So next week, we will do our next review of the Solida Red from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. And then the week after that, I think we're going to do the Knuckle Sandwich 57. And then the week after that, we'll do the Lure Osquero, or however you pronounce it. So
that's quite a
next
lineup.
3 weeks. Yeah, it is. And then next week, of course, we will have to talk about tax day. And we're going to talk about what do you do with your tax money now that you've gotten a refund? And how does it relate to the cigar hobby? So that'll be a fun show to talk about. And it'll be after PCA. So I'm sure we'll be chock full of news as well about what came out. Or no, is it? Yeah, because PCA is this weekend. Yeah, PCA is this weekend. Okay. Yeah. So
big week in the cigar world.
The news alone this week has been ridiculous. It's like going, every day there's 4 or 5 different stories coming out. So we got one that was hit close to home. We'll talk about that as we're going through our news. But did you watch the game last night?
I did. I watched it off and on, and then I watched the last 2 minutes. I thought Houston was going to pull it out. They didn't.
No,
Florida
they had some chances. Yeah, they had some chances there. But yeah, they didn't. They couldn't pull it out. I actually picked Florida to win. I picked it at my job. So I'm waiting to see there was 19 of us that picked Florida to win. So I think all the brackets got busted. I forget at what point. And
first day, probably.
Well, yeah. And so then the guy who was organizing it said, okay, let's go and we'll do a Final Four, which I told him was a big mistake. I said, because the Final Four is going to be, and so, yeah, it ended up being 19 people picked Florida to win. So we'll see what happens. There was some Yeti prizes in there, so we'll see what they're going to do about that. So, March Madness is, go ahead.
Yeah, I did the brackets on ESPN, and they let you fill out 25 up to 25 brackets.
Oh, wow.
And I filled out 25 brackets just to see how close I could come to the best.
And
I'm sure their scoring is different from other people, but like if Houston would have won, I had one that was going to get me 1730 points.
wow.
But I had one when Florida won that gave me 1510 points. That was like 95th percentile or something.
That's good. That's nice. Yeah. It's fun. I enjoy March Madness. It just seems like it goes by so fast. It just seems like, and I'm surprised they don't push the championship game to the following Sunday. You know, you had the playoffs, so you had the Final Four, and so you're down to the finals. So why not push that to the next Sunday versus cramming it into on a Monday? Which, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, they kind of followed that tournament weekend format for every week. They have the two play dates on the weekend.
So,
but they move it to Monday for viewers, I guess, prime time.
Yeah, I guess, you know, we'll see.
You know what else? I mean, this week?
What's that?
The Masters. I like watching the Masters.
Yeah. Oh, that's this week. Yeah, it is this week. Wow. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had a friend. I shouldn't say I had. He's still alive. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he would religiously take off work Thursday and Friday. You know, he's off Saturday and Sunday, but he would be off Thursday and Friday. He would plop himself down in front of the TV, make himself a pimento cheese sandwich every day, and just watch the Masters. I'm like, that's some dedication.
Yeah.
But he also would go to a golf course here in the Chicago suburbs and be at the driving range for 3 hours every day.
Wow.
When he retired, he's still retired now. I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but when he first retired, he would go to the driving range every day for 3 hours.
Why not just drive? Play? You're going to be there for 3 hours.
Yeah, he would drive, he would chip, he would putt. Yeah, so I mean, you know, hey, you know,
practice makes perfect.
It does. So that's right, it is. And then in 2 weeks, I'm sure this is on top of your radar. I'm sure it's on top of your radar. But in 2 weeks, we have WrestleMania.
I have that on my calendar.
I do too. No? It's my wife will tell me it is the strangest thing in the world. She goes, I don't understand how you watch wrestling. And I go, it's just pure entertainment.
It's male soap opera.
It is a male soap opera. You know, it is a male soap opera. And now that Vince McMahon is gone, it's being run a whole heck of a lot better than.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. His son-in-law, Triple H or Paul Levesque runs it now. And just from a talent standpoint, how they say we can actually take time off now to go spend time with our families, and where Vince was like, you're gonna be here, damn it. So
yeah. Well, that'll be exciting. I can't wait to hear you're going to have to do a report on that.
Yes, I'm sure you're going to be waiting with bated breath on that one. You know, how's your baseball team doing?
We got a comment. Ted's watching. Teddy's watching us.
Hello, Teddy. Oh, nice.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, if you're watching, like and subscribe.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
smash that like button.
Yeah.
Smash that like button. So how's your baseball team doing?
I don't know if they played today, but they've been on a kind of a hot streak, Cubs. They had a 5-game winning streak going for a while.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, and I think they swept the A's. And so yeah.
Hey, we got another comment. Crazy rescue lady. Hello.
That's my wife.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, you gotta love it. Yeah, I cannot say the same for my socks. They are, holy cow, they got us all excited after the first game, and they won one other game, and I think they're 8-2 or 2-8 right now. So it's like, holy good God.
2-8.
It's 2-8. Yeah. It's bad. I don't know. I don't know how long do you keep a new coach on when you start out that bad? Or a new manager?
Is it the same coach from last year?
No, it's a new guy.
Or did they got a new guy.
Will Venable.
I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't have that much to start from. Like, weren't they the worst team in ever maybe last year?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I was wondering.
I think they give him a whole year.
Do you give him a whole year?
Oh yeah. Reinsdorf's kind of cheap too, so he won't fire him.
Yeah,
the first
I
year.
know. There's talk about somebody else stepping in and buying him. That's always been the big thing of will somebody else step in and
unless they move him to some other city.
I can't see any there. Where are you gonna move him to? Vegas?
Vegas already got a team. They got the A's.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I don't even know you'd go to Iowa.
You could move them to Oakland.
Oh, I think, yeah. Their colors would fit well there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So what do we got in store tonight, Mike?
We're going to talk about something that, and as I kick this idea around, when I got into the cigar hobby, lifestyle, I went to the store or I went to the cigar lounge and I bought some cigars and started smoking them. And then you start getting into the lounge, you start sitting there with guys and they start using all kinds of jargon or slang. And you're like, you feel like an idiot. You don't want to go, hey, what do you mean? So then, and back then we didn't have the internet. So you sort of fumble through things. And so I thought, well, let's sort of treat this like it's brand new. Like we're talking to brand new cigar smokers. Hey, you've never smoked a cigar before, or you have been smoking them, but you haven't picked up on the lingo or the jargon or the slang, whatever you want to call it. So I've got like 5 pages. I was like, talking about going down a rabbit hole. When you start looking this stuff up, you're like, where do you start? Where do you stop? And where do you think, okay, people know this stuff? So some of the stuff I thought
cigar slang.
5 pages of cigar slang, yeah.
With definitions.
With definitions. Yeah. I feel like an essay. Can I turn this in and get some credit for this or something? I'm not
Yeah.
But yeah, like the show, our ads that is Vitola, Pilon, and Herf. What are you talking about? And it's Vitola, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but that really, it's not a new term, but it's been used a lot more in the last few years than it's been used previously, correct? Or
I hadn't noticed, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, before it was like, okay, what size is a cigar? What size are you coming out with? And we're coming out with a Toro, we're coming out with a Robusto, we're coming out with a 5x54 that we consider a Robusto or whatever. But now lately, for me, and nobody else is commenting, so we won't know. Maybe Crazy Rescue Lady will tell us. But it seems like people are throwing the word Vitola out there a lot more than I've ever heard it before. And it's like, oh, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust is releasing 5 new cigars, and their Vitolas are dot, 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 dot. And I'm like, so when you hear the term Vitola, you're talking about the size of the cigar. You're talking about, whatever that length is and whatever the ring gauge is. And obviously the ring gauge is the diameter of the cigar.
You used a new term to define a term. You can't.
I did. No, now you're really going back to my school days. You can't use a word to define a word.
Right.
What? Yeah. So yes, but ring gauge is the diameter of a cigar. So this round part diameter, which gets confusing too, because all of a sudden you'll go 5 by 54, or 6 by 54, 6.5 by 54, 6.5 by 50. So you get all kinds of crazy stuff in there.
Sometimes the cigar names have the ring gauge in them, like the 654 will be in the name.
Yeah. And even the Aganorsa, what is it? The 10 by 100. I mean, that's what it's known by, is the 10 by 100.
Right.
So, and yes, folks, that's 10 inches by 100 ring gauge. So you can figure that one out for yourself and try to figure out how you're going to smoke that one.
And what's a ring gauge? So 64 is an inch. So it's 64ths of an inch. 160.
Yeah. Yes.
Inch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So, but yeah, I mean, as long as we're talking about sizes and shapes, we got the Vitola, like I said, the Parejo. That would be defined as the straight-sided cigars, the cigar classic shape, the Corona or the Toro. So I've never heard of Parejo. I'm sure I'm going to get some
Saka
feedback
uses
on that.
term all the time. Parejo.
Does he?
Yeah.
In a positive sense?
He's so technical. He just goes super technical.
Yeah. Yep.
He could teach us some that he can add some to your list, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes. And then the Figurado is the torpedo shaped. Now everybody says torpedo. I very rarely hear people refer to it as a Figurado. So, but that's the torpedo.
Torpedo, I hear a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
Or Salomon.
The Salomon. Yeah, or the Perfecto, which has got the bulging middle. So yeah, the one that I threw out there in our ad is the Pilon, and it's interesting because when I was doing my research on this, the first definition I got is a Pilon is used to heat tobacco so it remove the impurities to make tobacco smokable. And I'm like, well, that's not what I've heard. I heard it's some other, it had a different terminology to it. And I went to good old Cigar Aficionado. And am I going to be able to find it now or am I not? I'm probably not going to be able to find it because they actually give a really good definition of it. Oh, let me see.
While you're
looking, bear
looking,
with me.
Teddy had a comment. He said, Anejo is old, right? Yeah, Anejo, I think, is aged.
Yes.
So like 100 Anejo. No, it's not Anejo. 100 Anos is like 100.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, Años is a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So Anejo is aged or old. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, here we go. So the term Pilon or Pilon is a term for a large pile of tobacco arranged for fermentation. And that's what I always thought it was. So I'm like, oh, it's a large pile. But then when you go on to read it, it says it can be enormous and weigh as much as 3,500 to 4,000 pounds. So holy cow, that's a lot of tobacco. And after curing in a curing barn or casa de tabaco, the tobacco is brought into the warehouse and assembled in bunches of leaves called hands and made into a pilon. The process of assembly is called empilonado, and I know I'm wrong on that, so let the comments fly. The leaves sit flat. The leaves sit flat in a pilon, one on top of another, with boards, cardboard, or old tobacco stems beneath. The way the tobacco and the moisture in the leaf, as well as the moisture that is added by workers before assembling the pilon, creates heat, which causes fermentation to begin, changing the chemical structure of the tobacco, removing impurities such as ammonia, and rendering the tobacco smokable. When the desired temperature is reached, workers break down the pilon and rebuild it. The process is repeated again and again and can last for months or longer.
Right, because they don't want it to get too hot.
No.
So they break it down and rebuild it, and the heat builds up again, and they monitor it every, I don't know how often, but every day at least.
Yeah.
And then they rotate it when it needs to be rotated until I guess they have some I guess until it doesn't continue to temperature rise, and then they know it's fermented.
Yeah. Or they you know, I'm sure again with these guys and their knowledge, they know, hey, we can go through this process 4 times and we got the tobacco to where we want it. You know, or whatever, or hey, it's reached the temperature or it hasn't gone to a temperature that we want it to go to, so it's good to go. So
there's nothing left to ferment.
right. But that was my deep dive today this time that I'm like, oh, okay, so that makes sense. So it is the stacking, but in the stacking you create the heat that wicks out the impurities. So
Converts the sugars to flavors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It gets the dark. That's what gets all the dark coloring in the Maduros, especially.
So again, it goes to show you, and again, we're taking this as if people are brand new listening to us and just starting to smoke cigars, but it can just go to show you how much work is put into making a cigar. You know, the 300 hands that touch a cigar, one single cigar before it's ready to go out. So you can think about that. Yeah. You know, you're building those Pilones and you're stacking this stuff up and it's sitting there. And I got to believe that aging probably, well, they said for months. So if it takes a month to get up to, to temperature, you're okay. Well, that's the first time. Now you're going to rotate that stock again. And it's crazy. It's great. And that's,
yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, there's a really good video on YouTube that, where a guy goes into the Davidoff. He goes all the way from the farm when they start the seedlings to planting them, to harvesting them, to the barn, to the Pilon, to the rolling, the bunching, and the cigar aging room. You can learn a lot from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I highly recommend. We're not that technical yet to be able to put links into our descriptions, but yeah, search those things out on YouTube, and go through and study some of this stuff. You're only going to make your experience better when you can really truly appreciate the brown wrapper that you're holding in your hands and realize that this isn't factory made. This isn't coming out of a machine. This is people that sit there and roll these things by hand and take the care and the time to put together. You're like, oh, okay. It's not a cigarette that some machine is thrown together. It's, you start to appreciate this and go, okay, the hour long it's going to take me. It's bringing somebody else some joy to go, hey, those people are enjoying that up in the States or wherever. So,
right.
Yep. There's also a term, ensarte, which is the process by which the freshly picked tobacco leaves are taken from the fields and hung in the curing barns. So ensarte. So there's always a term for something in this process.
Everything's got a term.
Yep. And then intubar is the process by which a cigar roller rolls each filler leaf individually into an oval or tube shape. So I am not going to, people, again, you can find this on YouTube. People will dissect these cigars and begin to show you this was rolled in a tube shape or accordion shape or whatever. And so you start to see each way a cigar is rolled brings out different flavor notes. And so I think I shared this once before. The statement that was made is you can take 10 tobacco, what's the word I want to use? Not creators.
Rollers?
Not rollers.
Blenders?
Blenders, thank you. 10 tobacco blenders and give them the same amount of tobacco, the same tobacco. And let's say you gave them 20 pounds of tobacco and said, here, each one of you, here's 20 pounds of tobacco, the same exact tobacco. You're going to come out with 10 different cigars. You're going to come out with 10 different flavored cigars or 10 different types of cigars with different tasting notes. And you're going to say, how did that happen? You all had the same tobacco. How can I get 10 different cigars? And just, they each have their own way of, hey, I'm going to put so much of this in, so much of that in. I'm going to roll it this way. And here you go. So it's absolutely amazing. One of these days when we make it big, me, you, and Teddy, and Sheldon can go down to Nicaragua and watch some of this stuff live and
That'd be fun.
see what's. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be. So, bunch, the binder and filler combo before the wrapper's applied. And then here, in the intubar, the accordion, a method by which the outside of each leaf is folded inward, stacked, and wrapped in the binder. There's a term called bookmaking. It has nothing to do with betting. It's a method where filler leaves are stacked flat, folded like a book, and then wrapped in the binder. Oh.
I don't know if they do that one that so much.
I don't think so. I haven't.
That in two
that would be really, yeah.
Is the more used one now.
Yeah. And the funny thing is too, is that you won't hear that about a cigar. They won't. I've never seen a description of a cigar telling you it was rolled in this fashion. So it'll be interesting in that regard. So Teddy's giving us some news, breaking news on Sunday's episode.
So Sheldon is getting to go to PCA. Nice.
He is. So it's sort of a way to say, hey, Chi-Town Cigar Podcast is being represented in New Orleans. We should have got him a shirt or hat or something like that to wear around the floor. The floor and talk to people. So, but anybody that's listening to us that hasn't listened on Sunday nights to Teddy and Sheldon represents Black Star Line, and does some work with Eric Bay and the guys down there. So we are excited to have Sheldon a part of our team. Kudos to Teddy for wrangling him into this chaos that we call a podcast, but he's definitely bringing some knowledge. We were both listening to them on Sunday and had some great information about aging cigars.
Yeah, so, they had a good show Sunday.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good. Talk about tobacco leaves. Candela. You want to tell? You know what Candela is?
Yeah, Candela is under fermented, so it's still green. Still got a green hue to it.
And you've smoked. I think I've only smoked one Candela, if that. I can't remember.
Candela barber pole, even.
I might have smoked. That's what I'm saying. I think I might have smoked a Candela barber pole, but I can't remember for sure. So I don't want to say it. Claro is a wrapper leaf that is blonde in color. So Claro, I'm sure, is probably the proper pronunciation of it as I get and start to roll my R's. The big thing, I guess, I wanted to make mention of is, and it's for novices or newbies or whatever you want to call somebody that's just starting out in the cigar hobby, is you're going to hear the term pepper a lot, and all that really is a spicy note. It's just gives you the note that you're getting off the cigar. Oh, it's peppery. There's not pepper in the cigar. It's just it's a spicier note. I think that's more of the Ligero, right? Leaf that's in your cigar gives you more of that peppery, the spicy.
I don't know what makes the pepper. Okay. It might be that. The Ligero is like this, definitely affects the strength.
Yes.
And there's probably certain varieties of leaves that are more spicy than others.
Yes.
Yeah, you can really tell that on the retrohale, which is another term on your list.
I was going to say, there you go. Do you want to talk about retrohale? Because some people do it, some people don't do it.
When you blow some of the smoke through your nose.
And
get a few different tasting notes that way.
You get a lot more. And one of these days, we will do a whole show on retrohaling because there are some unique aspects of cigar smoking when you retrohale. There's some unique ways of getting some more flavor notes when you retrohale, and then at the same point when you pair it with something, whether it's coffee or alcohol or soda, So one of the things that I noticed is the more I've learned to retrohale, it's puff. You take a drag off of your cigar, and then whatever you're pairing it with, wine, alcohol, pop, coffee, and then you sort of go, okay, what type of notes am I getting there? Then a little bit later, you do the reverse. You take a drink and then you smoke, and sort of go, okay, what kind of notes am I getting off of it there? So it's a really unique aspect of pairing and retrohaling. So that'll be an upcoming show that we'll talk about. So it's fun. It's one of the things that, again, I know Marty doesn't. I know Teddy doesn't drink alcohol. I am the resident alcoholic for the Chi-Town podcast. Is we don't say that you have to pair any cigar with alcohol whatsoever. We're not, you can get some. I enjoy, and I think you're the same way. And I know Teddy is for sure. He can chime in as he's watching. Teddy loves his coffee with his cigars, and I think he drinks an ice cold latte or one of those drinks with his cigars, and he'll tell you the notes right away. You do a lot of soda. Do you do soda with yours, Marty?
Root beer, especially.
Root beer? Yes. Yeah. And then we have a friend that does iced tea. Very particular about his iced tea. And I'm definitely an iced tea drinker in the summertime. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll have some fun with that, and we'll try to pair some stuff and see what we can come up with and what notes we're pulling off of stuff. So it's fun that way. Aging, I think Teddy and Sheldon went over all this stuff on Sunday. A couple comments that were made on Sunday was the box date. And you will find a date usually on the bottom of a box that has MAR 20 or MAR 25 or DEC 15. That's usually the month and the year of the production of that box. They're not going to go as far as to say December 15th, 2025, but they're going to say these cigars were all rolled in December.
Or they were rolled. They roll them and then they put them in an aging room a lot of time for some period of time before they even get in a box.
Yes. Yeah. And that's, we talked about last week, the AJ Fernandez fire, and there was quite a few completed lines that were aging in boxes that were, I think, not relatively close to the fire, but they were definitely in that facility. So, they definitely roll those cigars, pop them in the cellophane. Whole nother discussion. Go listen to Sunday's podcast, but a whole different discussion about cellophane. But they pop them in the cellophane, they pop them in the box, they seal those boxes up, and they might sit there for another 6 to 8 months in the box.
Even before they go in the box, they'll be in these big, like 50 or more cigars in a big roll. Wrapped together without any cellophane, and they just sit there. And then they sort them by color to go in a box, so you don't get for the fermenting process ends up with different colors even when they sort the wrappers. And, so then they sort them by color in the boxes, so you don't have a bunch of different colors in your box. But you might open two boxes of the same cigar, and one will be darker than the other, the entire box.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really unique in that sense. And one of these days, I'm hoping too, that we can take the Chi-Town podcast down to Miami, because El Titan de Bronze, I hope I pronounced that correct.
That's pretty good.
I listen, I'm working on it. Anybody that wants to critique me, you can, shoot right at me. But they also do a draw test on every one of their cigars that they roll. Now it's a small, I think it's a 10-person factory, lack of a better word, but then they draw test every single cigar before they put them out. So I'd love to watch that process. I'd love to watch. I mean, can you picture that being your job? Hey, Marty, today you're gonna draw test 300 cigars. So
they have a machine that they stick them in.
Speaking of them, Sandy was on Smoke Night Live a couple weeks ago, but then she was also on Cigar Snob's podcast. Do you know how many cigars their average roller rolls in a day? And they max it out. They tell them no more than this number. You have any idea?
I want to say they probably can do 20 an hour, so 160.
That's darn close. 120. They max them out at 120. They don't want them to do more than 120 in a day. So, which at first, Teddy said 300. Sandy would kick you out.
Yeah, even I was Sandy a little high.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they were saying that they don't really want them to roll more than 120 in a day, which again, if I'm trying to think what the redemption.
So that's 15 an hour. So it's one every 4 minutes.
And the unique thing with them is they have a start to finish process. So the roller starts it and finishes the cigar. It's not like they pass them off. It's not like they take and say, okay, I've done the bunching. Here, Marty, you're going to do the binder. It's from start to finish. Those rollers, and there's a term, I just had it a second ago. But yeah, they do a start to finish process, which is amazing. Is absolutely amazing to do that. So I would love to go down there. I would love to go down there and see, and you can just walk in and they'll give you a tour of the place. So one of the things on my bucket list. Slang and culture, toasting the foot.
I love it toasted. Yeah. Isn't that a prank they play in baseball where they give someone a hot foot?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. But toasting the foot is lighting your cigar and taking your time. Now, Steve Saka, we will quote him on this, says there's nothing more important than taking your time and toasting the foot. He says that should be the point, that when you sit down, you toast that foot and you take your time and get that tobacco nice and hot before you take your first.
Give that cigar a good start so it burns well all the way through.
Yep. Yeah. Because like they said too, you can take a bad cigar, and if you toast it properly, you might be able to get some goodness out of that thing. But at the same point, you can take a great cigar and not toast it, and it become a dog rocket. Oh, wait a minute. There's another term.
Dog rocket.
Yeah, dog rocket, which is a cheaper, lousy cigar. But at the same point, a dog rocket can be a very expensive cigar that you've personally screwed up. You get $100 cigar. If you don't take care of that thing, you're going to start smoking that. Go, this is pure garbage. Well, that's 98% your fault, probably. So,
yeah. I have a dog that sometimes runs around the yard like she's got a rocket strapped to her ass.
I've got a couple like that. So, why don't you talk about what canoeing is, or what a canoe is, and not the boat?
Not the boat. Yeah, canoeing, like when you get a cigar and you really get a significant, this is a box press cigar, but if it canoed, you'd get like one side of the box would be burnt way farther than the rest.
Absolutely.
Just touch it a little bit. Sometimes that's because the roll isn't very good, because some leaves burn more quickly than others.
Mm-hmm.
And how they place the leaves in the bunch to get the burn consistent makes a big deal. So when they bunch them together, they don't get that one leaf in the right spot. It can cause the canoeing to happen.
Yeah. So, so that's a bad one. And if you've done everything right and you get a canoeing cigar, reach out to, if you believe that, hey, this is an issue, it's a bad roll, or it's a bad cigar, reach out to the brand, let them know. A lot of times they're going to make you right. A lot of times they're going to say, hey, you know what, send it. So, we're going to send you a new cigar. Or we're going to give you credit, and so
Especially if you get like a whole box, like if some
yes,
luncher was having a bad day and really screwed.
they try to roll. They try to roll 300 cigars in a day.
Yeah, if you get one, it's like, yeah, they're handmade. That's going to happen.
Yep. Exactly. What about a plug? You're good with those. Why don't you?
Plugs, yeah. So the plugs, especially when they roll it too tight, or if you get a big stem in there. I don't have my here. I've got my big stems over here.
Oh yeah, you got a collection of them.
I have a collection of stems that I've picked out of cigars that for some reason I'm not throwing away. I guess for this very reason. I mean, look at the size of that one.
That is crazy.
Like a tree trunk.
That's crazy. Do you remember what you pulled it out of? Not that we want to bash that brand, but
no, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I've got five or six good sized stems that I've pulled out. That one's a little smaller. Yeah, that one was huge though.
Yeah, so you'll get
that'll
stems.
affect your draw, and it'll be plugged. And if you can pull it out of there, you'll really improve the smoking of the cigar. So use that perfect draw tool and jam it down in there and try and hook it and pull it out.
So
otherwise, you just end up tossing the cigar, because I hate a plug cigar.
Yeah, and sometimes when you do try to pull that stem out, you're gonna ruin that cigar anyway. So yeah, again, that's something to contact the store that you bought it at, contact the brand, and say, hey, here it is, I got this. And again, they're gonna make you right. There's very few cigar companies that I found that if you don't contact them, they're not gonna make it right. They're gonna apologize over and over again and get you out there. A couple others, and then we'll jump into some of the news. This one I've never heard this one before, so maybe you have, but it was called Gurkud. It's Gurkud, and it's called getting stuck with an overpriced or overhyped cigar that doesn't deliver. Named after the brand's rep for flashy marketing. I got Gurkud on this one. Tastes like cardboard. I've never heard that term, but it made me chuckle.
Got a bad reputation for that.
Yeah. So, this term I don't agree with, and we actually have a name for it. They call it the lawnmower. We call it a yard gar, but it's a cheap cigar that you can smoke, whether you're cutting the grass, you're working in the yard. I smoke them when I'm driving. I have about a 30-minute drive to work, so I don't mind getting a cheaper cigar, $2 or $3 cigar, and being able to smoke that and enjoy it on my way to work. So, did I miss any that you wanted to hit on, or anything that you can think of that I didn't mention?
No, I think you covered all the good ones.
Yeah. There's some acronyms out there: BOTL, SOTL, brother of the leaf, sister of the leaf, PSSIT, which we start every show with. That's put some smoke in the air. So it's fun. I would encourage you, if you are new in this lifestyle, don't be afraid to ask questions. If somebody says, hey, my cigar is canoeing, and you've got no idea what they're talking about, ask them, hey, what do you mean? This hobby is probably the most relaxed hobby I've ever been involved with, where people will take the time to go over stuff with you. You're a fisherman. I'm a fisherman. Ask a fisherman, hey, where'd you catch that fish at? They share that stuff with you, Hey, Marty, where'd you buy that cigar at? Oh, let me tell you, it's over here, and it's the third shelf down on the right-hand side. But hey, what bait are you using over there? I see you catching some fish. What bait are you using? No.
They get mad at fishermen. Get mad at people if they take if they are like the fishing live streamers. If they show like shoreline, where people can pick out where they're fishing, they get all kinds of grief from locals.
So this hobby is, people will share, and I'll tell you something here in a second, but people will share very easily what's going on and what they're doing or where they've got a cigar at. I I live in a small town. And so I was talking to our mail clerk, for lack of a better term, and he was telling me that his father smoked cigars because I was picking up a package, and he said, I said, oh, Aganorsa, and went through a couple of the cigars that I smoke. He's like, oh, I've never heard of those, and I said, I said, well, ask your dad. And he's like, okay. Well, the next time I came in, I handed him 2 cigars. I said, here, give these to your dad, and tell him to let me know what he thinks of them. And he reaches for his wallet. I go, what are you doing? He goes, well, don't you want me to pay you for these? No, don't worry about it. He goes, well, how much were they? I said, don't worry about it. Just tell your dad to enjoy them. And he was dumbfounded. He was like, I don't understand, and I walked out, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, we do that so arbitrarily and we don't think about it. And that's, again, what's so great about this hobby. At the same point, we've shared cigars with friends and with each other and people you meet, and you turn around and you hand them a cigar and you're thinking, I just handed the guy $15.
Yeah.
And,
I bet that
and
guy's not going to lose any of your mail.
no, that's right. There's always a reason for it. So, yeah, Teddy, we could not agree more. That is, giving away and paying back. We can jump into the news, and this is probably a great segue into news, but the AJ Fernandez fire, and a lot of shops are running specials right now where if you buy a box of AJ Fernandez cigars, they're giving, $25 to the factory or to AJ Fernandez for rebuilding purposes. You've seen a factory open up its doors and say, hey, you can roll here, and they basically opened a rolling room for them. I mean, there's probably, I saw the picture. If I thought about it, I would have saved it. I want to say there's probably 15 to 18 tables set up for rolling. And I mean, it's a competitor. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to have and no, this is a cigar. Hey, I don't want to see you struggle. If you're doing well, I'm doing well. Vice versa. If you start struggling, I don't want people to buy my cigars because yours aren't available. I want them to buy my cigars because they want to buy my cigars.
Right.
So it's awesome. It's awesome. But let's do a quick commercial here, and then we'll jump into the news. So, right. Hey, Chicagoland, are you ready to step up your eyewear game? Whether you need stylish eyeglasses, prescription eyewear, sports glasses, safety gear, or even color deficient glasses, there's only one place to go: Eyewear Fix. For over 28 years, Eyewear Fix, Chicagoland's premier sunglass and eyewear store, has been your go-to for everything eyewear related. No gimmicks, no waiting room, just top-notch products, expert service, and a private concierge-style experience tailored to your schedule. Need an exam? Bring your prescription. Want variety? They've got points for every budget. And whether you're a weekend warrior, a safety-conscious worker, or just looking to turn your head with the perfect shades, Chris has got you covered. Remember, Eyewear Fix is by appointment only because your time matters. Call or text anytime to book your visit. Don't settle for ordinary. Get eyewear that fits your style, your needs, and your lifestyle. Call or text 630-853-4167 to schedule your exclusive visit. Eyewear Fix. See the world your way. I'm pretty good at that.
You are. Got a second career in announcing.
In raid? Yes, there we go. There we go. Also, our other sponsor is Ultimate Cigar Lounge in Villa Park. Stop in there, see Teddy. He's always in there working or sitting there having his cigars. They've got a huge humidor, and they probably got everything you can think of, then some, whether it's Espinosa, Aganorsa, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, Tatuaje, Perdomo, Drew Estates, Opus X, AJ Fernandez, you name it, they got it. Stop in there, see them, pick up a couple of cigars, sit back and enjoy. The lounge is beautiful. They've got plenty of TVs. You can definitely sit back and enjoy, a cigar, watch some TV. They do have beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So stop in and see Sam and see Teddy and pick yourself up some cigars. And we want to thank Ultimate Cigar Lounge.
Ventilation. Yeah. Unlike some
they
places.
They have great ventilation. So let's talk about news. There's a ton to get to. Holy cow.
Yeah, you thought last week was a big news week. This is just as big.
Yes.
So we're going to try something different this time, where we put the stuff up on the screen.
Yes, we are. Yes,
You
we
have to
are.
share your
I
screen
will.
to do.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
start going through the list.
Go right
All
ahead.
right. Since last week. So the first one I got is League of Fat Bastards. They're debuting the Skinny Bastarda, which I guess I read a little bit about this. This is a cigar made by women for women.
Yes.
Which sounds interesting. I haven't heard of that before.
So,
hey, look at that.
Look at that.
Getting
High
tech.
class. Uh-huh.
All right. Second on the list. Like, this is a long list, so we got to get rolling here. Second on the list. Villiger is revamping their La Capitina, and they're debuting that at the PCA.
Yes.
I don't know much about that.
El Mago, the Jaguar. So this is I like this brand. I've smoked quite a few cigars from them, and this is one of the ones when I saw this, I did not know this was coming out. So I'll definitely mention trying this. It's a cigar company with a phenomenal story. If you've never heard their story, real briefly, the founder of it, what is his name? I can't think of it offhand. I am so sorry. Nick Fusco started this brand in honor of his parents. Holy cow, I'm all over the place here. In honor of his parents, because they were killed in a collapse of a hotel in Miami. So he started this brand. That's why you'll see all their boxes and their bands are all very bright colored. It's all fashioned after Miami. So yeah, this is a great brand. Definitely some good cigars. I've smoked quite a few of them, and I'd highly recommend it.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, Crowned Heads. They're one of my favorites. They're debuting the Broadway and changing their branding. They were on Cigar Dojo this past Friday. One of the guys, can't remember the guy's name. He did a great job, and
yes, he did.
Talked about this Broadway, which is a broadleaf. They've done several broadleafs, and they always have good luck with those. So I'm excited to try that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting their change.
The branding too. Scroll down. I think they show the branding a little further down there.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, here. Yeah, there it is. There's the new logo.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like the crown. I like the new logo. I think it's definitely gonna be a lot more recognizable to people when they're walking into a lounge or when they're walking into when they see somebody else smoking it, because this old one was sort of weird. I could never get it. So excellent. What else we got?
Next on the list, we have CAO expanding the Fossa lineup. I've had the Fossa Soul. They were adding a shade grown cigar called the Sombra.
The Sombra. So interesting. Yeah, I just smoked one of those. I just smoked the Soul on Sunday, and
they carry that at Ultimate.
Yes, they do. They do. So, all right, next on the list.
Yeah, Blackwork Studios unveiling the 10-year anniversary collection.
The boombox. The boombox. This will be interesting. And I don't know. How do you feel about these type of releases? These anniversaries where you're getting a limited number of each cigar.
I guess it's good especially if you're new to the brand and you want to try everything, you get to try each Vitola, which can have significant taste difference. Be a good way to find your favorite out of their line.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, I looked at that. I'm like, man, that's it's one of those things I want to pick up, but at the same point, I'm like, oh, I don't know. It has nothing to do with the cigar. It has to do with the finances. It has to do with the finances. So, but they got some Lanceros in there. They had a couple Lanceros in there, so that'll be interesting. So, moving right along.
Next one, Amirati unveiling the third trip collection. I don't know anything about Amirati.
Don't know. Never heard of them. Definitely could be something we can look into. If they want to send us a couple cigars, we'll be happy to smoke them. I'm sure their rep is listening to this show right now going, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send them some cigars.
Your mailbox is going to be full next week.
Our mailbox. We have a Chi-Town mailbox. So don't forget to email us. So there we go, right there. There's our email address. So what else we got?
Next one is a baseball themed partner with Adrian Gonzalez, the Constella Group, and it's called the Resilient.
It's announced that Major League Baseball. I don't know. I'm throwing the flag up on this one. I don't want these sports figures. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to be in it, that's fine. If they're going to commit to it, that's fine. But I just don't want to see somebody just put a cigar out there to put a cigar out there and then fall flat on its face. And then, you can't get it again. I mean, if it's a great cigar, it's a great cigar, but what good is it if I'm not going to be able to find it again? So.
Yeah. And I don't see them in a lot of the P&Ms around here. So
no,
maybe we'll get it.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Next one. Here's one I want to try. Knuckle Sandwich Chef Special 2025. They do one every year, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There's not a picture of the cigar, but that's it there. Like I said, in 2 weeks. Yeah. Yep. Guy Fieri. Now here's the flip side. Here's the flip side of a celebrity who I think I'd almost venture to say he's more into cigars right now than he's into cooking. I mean, he still got his cooking stuff going on, and he owns his restaurants, but
yeah.
The 57 came out January or February, and here's the Chef Special coming out.
There's two more down the no, not his, but two more Espinosa cigars further down the list too.
So yeah, we'll definitely add that to our list of ones to try this year. So
yeah,
moving
Next
on.
One, AJ Fernandez, a New World edition, the New World Decenio. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Is it 10 years, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Andreas wrapper.
In 10 years. Maybe New World has only been around 10 years. The New World. San Andreas. All right.
Yeah. So that'll be a good one. We got here.
Mago is introducing the Miami Beach Sweets.
Oh.
Sweetened cigar.
Interesting. I'm wondering, this is somebody else. So this is cognac, vanilla, chocolate, and grape. Oh, God. Blech. No offense. Yeah. Oh. But this is somebody who else is doing one? Oh gosh. Is it Asylum that's doing one? That's another flavored?
Yeah.
It's another flavored.
So split one.
That's it.
One last week.
Yes. So okay.
No. Fratello Arlequin, they're introducing let's see if Edizione di Carnaval.
Oh,
I think I get an A for that pronouncing.
You do get an A for that one. So the Harlequin. So that'll be interesting. And that's another. It's almost like the Serenity Now, Insanity Later, where you're getting two different cigars in the same box, two different style smokes. So that'll be interesting. They always do a good cigar. So definitely be interested to try that one.
All right, next one, HBC, the Edition Especial 2015 box pressed.
Nice. That's a nice looking cigar. It's a nice band too. I like that big bold 10 on there.
Yeah.
So no hotcakes for HVC. They just did another one.
They did. They hit. I think last week that was it. Hot cake broadleaf or something.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So,
all right, we got another couple of Espinosa ones. The 601 La Bamba Warhead, Independence Day.
Interesting.
That sounds kind of cool.
It does. It does. Does it talk about the makeup of it? It doesn't say much, huh? Expected to ship in late May. Company says tobacco selected for strength, balance, and complexity. So it doesn't give you the makeup of the cigar, but yeah, that'll be interesting.
I've never had a La Bamba. I would like to try one.
I've had them. They're, again, quoting from what we just been talking about. They're pepper bombs.
Yeah,
they are pepper bombs.
Bamba, you better be a pepper bomb.
Yep.
And they're also doing the Warhead 11. They do one of those every year. Last year it came in the cool bomb-shaped box. So,
yeah, it's an interesting, yeah.
And then another knuckle sandwich.
Wow.
Puro, Nicaragua.
Puro? Yeah, it's pure Nicaraguan cigar. So interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
All right.
He's pumping them out.
Gurkha has one. The Dragon.
Gurkha. You're getting Gurkha.
Maybe. I don't know what the price is going to be on the Dragonfly. It's got a cool, like a bright green box. Like, it's kind of cool looking. Yeah.
Wow. I gotta pay for that box alone. 20 cigars, $17.50 each. $17.50 each. So that's gonna be
good. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
All right, next one, Selected Tobacco. They're going to launch the Bandolero Series C Colossus with an ashtray set.
Wow.
Or is that just an ashtray set? No, it's got an ashtray in it.
It's got an ashtray in it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting 5 cigars. You're getting 5 cigars in an ashtray. Let's see. Oh, I want to see if they can tell us what the damage is on that sucker. $24. A box of 25 is $600.
Holy cow.
So what did we just hold on a second here? I'm just trying to see something. Oh, wait. That's the Bandolero Premium. Sorry. Here's this one.
Yeah, United.
There it is. Yes. This United is the box.
Selected Tobacco, I guess, because they're both the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the box is $125. So the Bandolero Series C Colossus ashtray says $125. So you're getting 5 cigars in an ashtray for $125. So
maybe it's good. I just saw United Cigars announce they were like lowering their prices. Like that was an announcement this week. I didn't put it in here, but
okay. They
announced they were going against the grain of everyone else and lowering their prices.
Huh.
Not just keeping them the same, lowering them.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to butcher this next name.
Okay.
Cavalier is easy, but I don't know how to say the
Genevieve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Limited edition 2025, shipping in July. 1670 a cigar. Oh, there we go. So this is a This is each
Like a
cigar. So
set,
this is
huh?
yeah, you're getting a set. So you're getting the 2018, the 2019, the 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24, and 25. So there you go. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. They got two 24s in there, but yeah, 24 and 25. So
Interesting.
yeah. And so a box of 10, it's gonna set it's not bad. A box of 10 is gonna set you back $110. So
Is that
interesting.
10 of just the 2025? Because I guess they do one every year. Or is
The
it
box of the box of the box of 10 for the 2025 is $167.
okay?
So and that's not pictured. That's what they
That's
said. So
a yearly release. So wait, that picture was all their past years,
yeah.
including the one. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Next one is also Cavalier Geneve, the Project Broadleaf.
Yeah.
They make some good cigars. I like some of their stuff.
It's a nice looking cigar.
Yeah, and they've got that gold
That gold leaf on it. Yeah.
that you can smoke if you get all the way down to the nub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
All
interesting
right.
there.
Next one, Romacraft is shipping the Cro-Magnon PA Blockhead and also adding Craft, Marquette, Foreign, and Domestic. Don't know much about that one.
Don't know much about that one. Yeah, I haven't heard. We're gonna have our hands full. Oh, here we go. The Wise Man.
Yeah, they're doing the Lancero variants. For all you Lancero fans out there,
Yeah.
get yourself a box of Foundation Wise Man. Next one is CLE. They're rebranding the Aroa line and introducing the Aroa Dark 30th.
Yeah. So
Very
beautiful looking
good.
boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. This next one, JC Newman, they've got this 130 years
Wow.
limited edition with a humidor box.
Wow.
That's a nice looking box.
That is a beautiful looking box.
How many cigars do you fit in that thing?
130. 5 trays to hold 130 cigars. Well, I think I'm gonna pick one of these up. It's only $2,200
Wow.
for 130 cigars. So what's that? What's that run you? My math is bad.
No, you gotta say how much of it is the humidor and how much of it is cigars.
Yeah.
You can put other cigars in there when you're done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But it's a Bellicoso number 9. So that's nice.
Nice. All right. Asylum 13 has got a time capsule. I assume that is the oh yeah. Cigar Journal always has a lot of pop-ups.
I guess I'm legal age. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah,
I actually was reading about this. I'd be very interested in this one. I'm because you're getting what 5, 6 cigars, 7 cigars, 6 cigars,
all the way back to number 7 through 13. Yeah.
Only 250 boxes, 7 by 70, and 500 boxes of the 1118. I don't know what that is.
I
don't know what
1118
1118 is.
1118 last week,
Maybe. So, okay.
Next one's an expensive one. Byron, 21st Century.
Oh, yeah.
The Krat does 10-year aged. If I win the lottery, maybe.
Yeah, that's a hefty price tag.
Yeah. Next, a couple
holy
of
cow.
Crux Passport and Crux Marblehead. That's the Passport.
Yeah.
$10.99.
$10.99. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else we got here? Crux and the Marblehead, huh?
Yeah.
That's a What is that? What is that? It's a 6x60 or 6x50. Huh.
Is it broadleaf? Looks like a broadleaf.
Nicaraguan and Indonesian tobacco.
Mm.
Colorado Habano wrapper covering an internal blend of Nicaraguan and Indonesian. So great price. Great price. $7.99 and $8.99. So you're back in the what I consider the budget cigars. So that'll be interesting.
Next one is a competition with Aganorsa, where they're releasing not Aganorsa, but Asylum. It's releasing a competition to the 10 by 100. They're calling it the 134 by 13. Megalophobia.
Oh my God. 134 millimeter ring gauge. Holy cow.
Yeah, that is over 2 inches.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is Tommy Lazuka. What the heck are you doing?
He, like, in that text there, it even says, "Stop making large ring gauges cigars. Stop having me make a bigger one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy cow. That is going to be absolutely. Look at this. You can see 5 by 50, 6 by 60, 7 by 70, 9 by 90, 134 by 13. It's 8.3. Jeez. That is just nuts.
So we're waiting for a response from Terrence on this now.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll have to see if we're going to battle this one out. Illusione's got something.
Illusione Epernay. I like the Epernays.
Yeah.
Tonella, I think, is a completely different blend from their regular Epernays, I think.
Yep. Mexican San Andreas wrapper over a now undisclosed blend of tobaccos. Oh. So they've got some different sizes coming out there, and of course, some different terms. The Le Monde, Le Grande. So,
yeah, they have their own names for the Vitolas, I think.
Yeah. So no prices in there yet. So we'll have to see what comes out of PCA with that. We're back to Miami Cigar and Company.
Launching the Outcast.
Interesting.
It's a cool looking box.
It is a cool looking box. Yeah.
Looks like a panther or something on there.
Yeah. The brand described for those who defy the norm, embrace boldness, and live out their own terms.
That's you.
Yeah, there we go. The Toro's $11.50. That's not a bad price. Not a bad price.
No.
I like the opening of the box. Be unique, be yourself, be an outcast.
There you go.
See some shirts coming out of that sucker.
Yeah.
So
next one. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Next one, EP Carrillo is bringing the Essence series, Connecticut. And they've also got a La Historia Silk.
Yeah. So 8 budget cigars, $8, $9, and $10. So a lot of these companies, I think a lot of these companies are starting to see that they've got to sort of be in this slot right now. I think you can definitely have your more expensive brands, but I think or lines, but you're going to have something down there in the budget side, especially based on whatever's going on in the current market.
Right.
So,
gotta have that slot. LFD is doing the revamped Suave. All right.
Okay.
Like 2 different ones there.
Yeah.
Tatuaje. I never saw a Tatuaje release. You had talked last week about the different things they were going to do. This is the only Tatuaje release I saw.
Pete was very conservative in his talking about some of the stuff. He definitely said they're going to be showing quite a bit at PCA, but like I said, some of the stuff isn't quite ready yet. So
they did announce the 7th series The 7th series existed. They're adding a couple of wrapper variations to the 7th series.
Yeah, the Tuxila and the Corojo. So those will be interesting.
Yeah.
Those are always good cigars. Always good cigars. So $9.50. There we go again.
Yep.
$9.50. So right in the wheelhouse.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right. La Aurora is doing the Fuerte Sol.
Okay.
And also unveiling the new Family Creed series and treasure box packaging. I wonder what that's all about.
Man, a 5 3/4 by 54 Toro for $18. Yeah. Okay. And
Soccer we talked about. He finally did all his pictures and stuff and all their products. Yeah.
He's got another sampler pack coming out, huh?
2
looks
of them.
like up here. 2. Oh yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And the one has the new word of Saka sin compromiso.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you got the essential sampler and you got the deep cuts. Huh.
Yeah.
Expensive summer. We'll have to be talking about those tax money. We'll have to be talking about the tax money.
Leroy Neiman, the painter, he does stuff with the company in Tampa, the Newman. Newman guys.
Casey Newman, yep.
Leroy Neiman collector's edition.
Wow, it's a nice cigar. Nice looking cigar. Nice wrapper. Triple banded. Holy cow. That's a lot of peeling.
You got to get some Leroy Neiman painting in there, I guess. So you need
I guess so.
This
$22 per cigar.
Okay.
Wow.
Another place I'd like to visit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Rebellion Cigars. Never heard of them. Celebrating 5-year anniversary with the Screaming Skull. Look at that.
That is a great band. Great band.
Yeah.
1380 a cigar. 5,000 boxes of 21. So.
All right. The last one on my list is the Shy Molly, not affiliated with Chi-Town.
No.
Podcast. The Pioneer Series.
It's interesting. It's an interesting logo. It's all about the texture. It's all about texture. Relatively new brand.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Chinese. That's where the chai comes from there.
Huh. $16. Interesting. Interesting.
So that's it. That's all the new stuff in just 1 week.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. And then we would be remiss to not mention it, but there was a press release from Black Star Line. They've parted ways with Cliff. He's no longer part of them. They've done some restructuring and some reorganizing, and everything that's come out has basically said this is a good step forward for Black Star Line. So we wish Eric and the guys all the best with that new endeavor and that new process. So it's always tough to say goodbye to somebody, but sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you got to say, okay, we're going to try and move in a different direction. And this is good for him. So,
yeah, he's going to PCA. I haven't seen any announcements for what they're going to release. I don't think.
No, I haven't heard anything about any release or anything like that. I think Sheldon said there was something on the horizon for them. But yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be a jam-packed PCA. I think we're going to come out with a ton of, obviously we've got a ton of news going into PCA. I think it's interesting to come outside with what's going on, and we'll see. I wish we could go down there to get our hands on some of these new cigars that are coming out, because it's going to be a while for them to come out, but we will do our best to to get our hands on them once they're out, and we will review them. Like we've said before, we're not sponsored as of yet. So whether it's Teddy and Sheldon or Marty and I or all four of us together, we're going to give you guys our honest opinions of cigars. I think that's a nice thing right now when we're not sponsored by anybody. We can just put it all out there and say what we think and what we feel about a cigar, and we don't have to worry about repercussions, although the repercussions will come if we bash the cigar brand. We probably won't get them as a sponsor. So but this is an exciting time. This is the Super Bowl season for cigars, for the cigar hobbyist, to be able to see all this stuff that's coming out. There will be some great content. I highly recommend, if you're not following Chief Talks and Bob the Cigar Guy on social media, Facebook and YouTube, follow them. Bob will do a live recap every night, sponsored by Villiger, and he will sort of go over what has been said and been done at the PCA show. So that'll be great. Cigar Dojo, they will be doing little pop-ups here or there. So get onto your social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Cigar Dojo. Become a member over there, because you're going to get a ton of information. This is where you're going to hear, and you're going to hear from the brand owners. You're going to hear from the reps. You're going to hear from everybody. The exciting things that are coming up, the cigars that are coming out. These guys will be, those that are lucky enough to go there. Sheldon, we're going to pump you for information and see what we can find out for us. But yeah, it'll be great. I'm excited. Like I said, it's like the Super Bowl for cigars.
Yep. Should be fun. So we got one more thing. This day in Chicago history.
Oh, you're
good
item. Job.
Yep.
All right, knock it out.
Can you guess this one? Has something to do with the second city.
Oh.
In 1984, what happened in Chicago history?
John Belushi made his appearance on Second City. Was he?
No, he was.
No, was he?
No. He was on in the 70s.
Was it the 70s? Gosh,
yeah.
You make me feel old. This gray hair is just coming in more and more.
Yeah. Had to do with our status as second city. So in
Teddy's hungry. Teddy's obviously hungry right now.
Portillo's. Yeah.
Portillo's.
Portillo's opened? No. Maybe, but that's not on the list here. Because on April 8th, 1984, the U.S. Census Bureau estimated that Los Angeles had surpassed Chicago as the second most populous city in the United States.
Oh. Well,
we lost our status as second city.
We're no longer the second most populated. Well,
but they still call it the second city.
The second city, yes. And the Windy City is not because it's windy either. So those of you that are watching, it all has to do with the politicians and being blowhards.
Politicians are windy. Yeah.
Yes. So, well, it's been a great show. I hope we sort of educated you guys a little bit. If nothing else, we gave you a whole heck of a lot of news on what's coming up and what you can expect. Next week, we're going to talk about taxes. What do you do with your tax money in your cigar hobby? What should you do with it? So that'll be fun. We'll sort of recap what happened at PCA and how you can spend those few pennies that you're getting back from the government. So
yeah, and then Sunday, Eddie's doing the post PCA with Sheldon. So
he is. Yeah, that'll be. I mean, you want to hear it right from the horse's mouth, because a lot of people won't be coming back from PCA until Monday or Tuesday. So, because I believe it goes through Monday afternoon. I think it ends at Monday at noon or something like that. So, Sheldon will be back, and we can hear all of his great comments and probably hear about all the food down there too, as well. So,
Yeah. Teddy says he's buying more cigars with his tax money. So
Teddy, you're lucky.
he's not
You
the
don't
only
have-
one, probably.
Yes. No, he's not. He's not. So it'll be a fun show to talk about. But I just want to tell everybody, hey, once again, thanks for joining in. We appreciate you being here. And signing off from the Aganorsa Leaf Studio in Central Illinois, I'm Mike.
I'm Marty. Have a great weekend.
Good night.